There's a call.
There is a call. It is not. Hey, Arteezy, how you doing?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Yeah, we're here.
Yes,
You're here
hello.
too. It's all good.
Yep.
Enjoying your post-game banana. Congratulations. It was such a clean series for you guys. I have to ask, yesterday it did not look so clean. So what's the biggest change you've made from yesterday to today?
Biggest change. I think we just played better today. I feel perhaps we underestimated OG, and we had a weird expectation coming into this tournament. Before like the group started, we thought we were gonna lose. Like we thought it was gonna be pretty hard, because we're all kind of coming off a break and we have a stand-in. So we didn't really expect to do that well in the group stage. So then we did well in the group stage, and suddenly our expectations kind of rised up a little bit. So then I guess we got cocky against OG. We thought OG would be easier to play against than other teams.
Mm-hmm.
We still did the proper prep and all those things, but it just, I guess in the game, we just played really bad. I played pretty bad yesterday. Yeah.
Well, everything seemed flawless today. This was a very convincing 2-0 from you guys. And you mentioned, of course, you're playing with Mikey here for this DreamLeague so far. How was it trying to work him in? Because did you guys feel like you had to change up your play style a lot, your draft style a lot for him?
Oh yeah, for sure. We had to do a lot of kind of work. We had to figure out a lot of things we could do to make him more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't really scrim at all. So it was kind of like every game we played was an attempt to try to figure out, what we could do better in the draft, or like how he plays. He plays really well when he's comfortable, so we just try to make it so like he can play his own game, and the us four can kind of like work around it. So that's why some games look like really, really random for us. It's kind of like we don't know what to expect either sometimes. So just working on that.
But it seems to go fine, especially when you get your hands on your lone druid. And I am curious, for that last game, did you expect that they would let it through? Because it seemed like a fairly good lone druid game for you.
Well, honestly, it was a pretty like bad lane for me.
Okay.
I think Furin is like pretty good against lone druid, I would say. But I'm confident that I can play that side of the matchup, so I decided to ask for it. That's probably why I didn't ban it.
Mm-hmm.
So they expected to kind of snowball off that lane. I was just mode damage control. I was just trying my best to make Ace work for every CS as well. We're like turbo nerds trying to get every last hit with our summons. So I mean, it was pretty fun that lane.
It looked a little bit more fun for you than for Ace on the hindsight, for sure. I'm here with Purge, Effie, and Jenkins. They'd also like to ask you. Jenkins wants to go first.
For the first time, I'm actually going to go first for the question, because I have a follow-up question to the turbo nerding in lane. Do you use right-click deny? Like when
No, I don't use it.
You don't use that? Is there?
No.
Have you tried using it before?
No, I've never tried to use it before. I've tried to use some like new things like hold to stop TP or something.
Yeah.
Hold stop to. I tried using that. I just can't do it. Okay. Some things it's hard for me to change to, but like some stuff like the damage number pop up, like that was really easy and very nice for me to switch to. But I haven't felt the need to switch to right click deny.
Okay, I would recommend against it, because against summons, it's harder to click on them. The range is smaller, so you'll click treants more if you do that. Anyway, you guys can answer your question.
When I watched you at Lima Major, I felt like you guys were picking a bigger variety of heroes for yourself. Is that true? And does that combat with what it's like to fit a stand-in? Because then his priorities are kind of higher than yours in some ways, because he's more restrictive and a new player.
I think most of our strategies are less reliant on my opening, like my hero. So it naturally, that means that I'm able to play a lot more heroes. Since like I'm like last pick or whatever, late pick, I just pick whatever I think looks good in the situation, and sometimes it does not work. Like I remember sometime I asked for Marcy at Lima, and they just picked Timbersaw, and then it was just a rough game.
I remember that game. That was a tough one.
Yeah, it was a rough game. I just have a lot more space to pick my hero because of our strategies as well. I've always liked playing different heroes, but like sometimes, there's a patch where maybe TB is like strong, and like we want to build strategies around that hero specifically. So, I mean, right now it's just easier to pick my hero later than before.
Okay, cool. And follow-up question: how prepped were you for the Witch Doctor dual lane? Where it seemed like you guys seemed comfortable laning against it. Did that go as you expected?
I've only had the experience of playing against Witch Doctor a single time. It was Moo in like a pub.
Oh yeah, he does that.
It was pretty miserable. I hated playing against the hero, but I mean, honestly, that game helped me a lot. I learned a lot from that matchup, and I mean, I don't know exactly how to lane against the guy against Witch Doctor yet, so I just kind of expected to go even. I don't know how the lane went. It felt like we were winning, but I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, hi Arteezy, congrats on the win. I just have a couple of follow-up questions on some things that you said. So I was wondering what you think the biggest contributing factor is to the days that you play really well versus days like yesterday where you said you guys simply just play bad. Like, where does the biggest shift happen overnight?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wish I could find it out myself, because like I never know. Like some days I feel like it's just something random. Like we enter the series and maybe we have some kind of subconscious like expectation that this opponent is easier, so we can like be a bit more calm or a bit more chill, and perhaps that has like the opposite effect. Like against GG, and I guess it'll be against Liquid our next match, I think. But against those teams, we really respect them. We respect all their players, and they're like major winners. So we put in a lot of work individually to be ready for that match, and also we like did a lot of work as a team. So I think maybe it's just our own personal problems of like, if we respect the team a lot, we'll put a lot more work into like preparing to like fight out a war or something like that, like to fight for every piece of the map, you know, in the documentaries or whatever. I feel like perhaps it's mental.
That makes sense. I guess it looked like you guys were more experimental yesterday too. Is it the same kind of logic where you respect a team more, you're willing to be more stable with your drafting, and if you feel like it's going to be an easier matchup, you're willing to maybe play the Necros and play the PAs and such?
Yeah, I think we just had a bad read yesterday on like I had a bad read of my pick. I wasn't happy with how it went. So I mean, sometimes it happens because you kind of just like take a guess at how something's gonna go, and then you just execute it, and then it doesn't execute how you think, and then suddenly it just looks like garbage. So I think today we had a way better understanding of what we're gonna do. At least what I was gonna do personally as well, like my job in the game. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's still important to be able to learn from situations like that, so don't be despaired.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a learning process. You know, sometimes when we have like a Dawnbreaker mid, you know, it's a learning process. It's fine.
For sure. But speaking of the learning process, my last question is actually about Mikey. So you guys learned how to adjust your drafting and your play to kind of make him more comfortable and cater to him. But what I'm curious about is if you guys actually learned anything new about how you can play and win by playing with Mikey. Like, did you guys try something that maybe you thought wouldn't work that you're gonna later apply to when Abed is back?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that's the biggest takeaway for this tournament for us. Like we learned a lot about how to play different heroes, play around different mid heroes, kind of like play accordingly to like different styles, or like when we play against XYZ, now we have a better understanding. I feel like this was a giant win for us regardless of how we do, honestly, having a stand-in like Mikey, because it's a very kind of different view of mid. So yeah, I feel it was very helpful for us, and it's going to help us a lot for the for the major.
Well, that's good to hear. It was a blessing in disguise then. Thank you for your answers.
And one final question, because we're not entirely sure, and hopefully you can help us out, because we heard that Abed will come back during DreamLeague. And I don't know if he's going to play with you while you're still playing DreamLeague, or is Mikey going to finish the tournament with you guys, or is there going to be a swap?
Honestly, I'm not even sure. I think originally the plan was to have him here in a couple of days, like in the middle of the second stage.
Yeah.
But there's been there might be a delay in things, so now we're just trying to get him to come to our bootcamp at least.
Okay.
So we might not have him for the rest of the tournament.
Okay. Well, so far it's looking still pretty good. Of course, today's results very, very strong 2-0 for this day. Looking forward to seeing what you got in store for us tomorrow. Congratulations on the win for you and your team, and looking forward to watching you play again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.